Good morning and welcome everyone to the 2022 Summer Challenge. I'm Sarah Prevo, the cycling director for the Alzheimer's Association. And it's today, it's event weekend. I'm so excited, and every time we have an event, we start with the mission. So I want to start with the mission this morning. Put your hand over your heart and think of the name of the person you are riding your bike for today. Let's all just take a second. Think of that person. You are riding your bike for them today. And we are so grateful that you have decided to do something to end Alzheimer's. The Ride to End Alzheimer's has 7 events this year in 2022, and this is the 6th of 7. It has been an amazing year. We, at the end of this calendar year, are going to have raised over $3 million. Can you believe it? You are part of something that is changing the world. We could not be more excited. And that's what I love about Summer Challenge is you can be creative and it's all inclusive no matter how you want to ride your bike. I am getting ready to ride with my family on the trails near my house today. We've got spinners ready to ride indoors. We've got Zwifters. We've got mountain bikers. So many people are involved. All 50 states, we have riders from all 50 states and several countries participating in the Summer Challenge. And there is one thing that is so important. It is photos. I want to see your photos today. So please share them on social media with the Ride to End Alz hashtag or just the End Alz hashtag, because we're all here to end Alzheimer's. And if you're not on social media, you can certainly email them to us at ride@alz.org. Now, I'm getting ready to ride right now. We've got a great opening ceremony for you today. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to toss it to Brian Tatum with the Alzheimer's Association Ride team. Brian?
Well, hey, thank you, Sarah. Good morning, Ride to End Alz Nation. It's Summer Challenge Day. Can you believe it? We've been training all summer long, putting in hours out in the hot sun, getting those miles in, and it's finally time to jump up on the bikes, remember and celebrate our loved ones and our friends, but most of all, just to have fun, right? Any day on the bike is better than just about anything I can think of. I'm here on the trails in Denver, Colorado this morning. Hello to wherever you are. I know you're all across the country and indeed all across the world, and we're so excited that we're finally here. You know, I think my favorite thing about this whole program is getting to meet all of you out there and hear your stories. It's so personal. It takes so much for you to share that with us. Courage, energy, emotion, all of it. And as a team, the Ride to End Alz staff is just so grateful and humbled that you would share those stories with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is the fuel we need to keep this mission going forward. Now, you know, an event like this doesn't just happen magically. We don't just snap our fingers and this all comes together. There's a big group of volunteers all across the country who have helped us get to this point today. And I want to take a minute and give them a special shout out. They're the members of the Ride to End Alz Summer Challenge Committee Volunteer Group. And we just love them so much. We thank them for all the time that they put in. You can see their names going across the screen right now. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You're so much fun. Thank you for being part of this movement. Now, you know, speaking of the committee, some of you may be watching this going, wait, what? There's a committee? I want to get involved in that. How do I do that? Well, guess what? We've got committees all over the country. Every one of our events, whether it's an in-person ride or a virtual challenge ride, has a volunteer committee attached to it, and you can be a part of one of those if you'd like to help us push this mission forward. Go onto our website, alz.org/ride, look at all the different events and find one that's near you. If there's not one near you, then you can join the challenge committee and join us virtually. Reach out to us at ride@alz.org and let us know you're interested, and we'll get you plugged in. Now, I mentioned before the stories are what really drives this mission forward and keeps us going, and we want to share one of those stories with you right now. Over the past several months, our team has had the distinct privilege to get to know a very special family that lives in the western suburbs of Chicago, and we want to introduce them to you right now. This is the story of the Klasky family.
Down at the bottom is this YMMSVH, which we always used for each other because the song that we gave to each other back in the day was Blood, Sweat, and Tears. You've made me so very happy.
"51 years ago,
Ken and Kathy Klasky started a great love story.
We were both raised in Chicago. Yeah, we were like maybe 3 blocks away from each other.
And the best day of Ken's life?
September 12th, 1970, outside the church. And September 12th, 2020.
Yeah.
Outside the house on the way to dinner.
50th anniversary.
A lot of water under the bridge.
Their forever started out with 2 sons and a daughter.
We were fortunate enough that she didn't have to work when we were raising our kids. So she was a stay-at-home ma.
She was hard on us when she had to be, but a strong woman who loved and cared for us. I can't even put into words how amazing my ma is. She's the cornerstone of the family, the matriarch.
Ma and Dad, heroes to their kids. Then the path of life got even sweeter when a bunch of granddaughters arrived.
Riley.
Anytime Kathy sees her grandkids, she lights up.
Mom loved all her granddaughters. Very loving, caring, would buy anything they want. You know those shirts that say, "If mommy says no, ask grandma"? That's my mom.
Fast forward to 2020. Everyone started to see a change in Kathy.
My mom would call me, and I would be home, and she would be very agitated and very upset. And I would drive there, and I was able to settle her down and calm her down. And
One day I'd come home from work, and Mom was a total different person. And I called Julie. I'm like, I know what you're seeing now, because I finally saw it in person, and she was a totally different person. Agitated, probably didn't even know who she was, but she would snap out of it.
So I've seen her a couple of times where you could just see the look on her face change, and you could see that it was taken over, almost like another personality, right? And there was no bringing her back, no stopping her until she went through whatever the cycle was going to be, and then would come around again and come out of it.
The official diagnosis of Alzheimer's is never easy, but this bend in the road that came in the spring of 2021, it's not one that the family wanted to be on.
So of course we both cried, right? Yeah. But then we went home and we said, well, we can only do the best that we can do, and we'll just work it out the best way we can. She realizes things sometimes, but most of the time, it's not her, you know. But she's ours, and we'll take care of her.
What was your first reaction when you heard the diagnosis of Alzheimer's?
Heartbroken. Definitely heartbroken. Because there's nothing I can do for my mom. She did all this stuff for me growing up, and there's nothing I can do for my mom.
You know, anytime you heard about it, everyone's older. It's like to me, she's young, so it's hard. I didn't think this is how it was going to go down, so. But it is. And this is a Christmas with everybody, with all the grandkids. I'm very sad that I can't talk to her like I used to before. I'm very upset that this is how it is, because this is not how it should be. You like the champagne, right? Yeah. I know you do.
Yet while the future looks different than they ever imagined, this family is sticking together and fighting back in the way that they can. At 70 years old, Ken decided to get back on his bike and train every day to ride 30 miles in the Ride to End Alzheimer's.
They all helped me raise money the best way they could, and I was pretty much astonished by the amount because I never anticipated. That's why I set my goal at 1,000, and when I tripled it, I thought, man, this is unbelievable. These people are just fantastic.
We're talking about a 70-year-old man doing 30 miles for his wife. Not a lot of 70-year-olds can do that, okay? He looked like a kid on his bike again.
And every time he passed the house, he waved to the love of his life and gave her a smile. And his message for others that are in a similar situation is simple.
Just hug them. Get a smile, I get a kiss. I don't need no more than that. She's my girl. 51 years.
Forever his girl, even if forever looks a little bit different now.
That's a fact. I'm happy for that too. I'm happy she's here because she comes back once in a while a little bit, you know. So those moments are the moments I look for. Maybe all the funds that get raised will come up with a solution. Maybe not for her, of course, but there's a lot of people behind us. So we'll do what we can.
Hi everybody, I'm Jennifer Kerner. I'm the Summer Challenge Community Engagement Committee Chairperson. And I want to thank the Klasky family for sharing their story. Our hearts are with you. You are valued members of the Ride to End ALZ community. Earlier in the program, you heard Brian mention the volunteer committee that is behind this event. I've had the distinct honor of chairing that committee this year, and I just want to say, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your sacrifice of time and for lending your passion to this cause. You know, one of my favorite things about the Summer Challenge is how inclusive it is. Anyone can ride, seasoned cyclists, newbie bike riders, and with no registration fee or fundraising minimum, the barrier to entry is super low. But the bottom line is that the Alzheimer's Association can't keep fighting this dreaded disease without money. You can donate now and join in that fight. 100% of the money raised today will go directly to Alzheimer's research. So log on to alz.org/ride and make a donation if you're able. It will be put to great use. Now, some of you have already raised a ton of money, and we want to give you a special shout out. Take a look at our top 10 teams. So cool to see all those Konica Minolta teams, Hardcore Fights ALZ, and Team Purple doing their thing. And now, let's take a look at the top 10 individual riders. We love all our riders, but these 10 folks have gone above and beyond, and we say thank you. Thank you again to all of you that are riding today. Have fun out there and be safe. And now let's go back over to Brian to hear about our very first Ride to End ALZ Summer Challenge corporate team, Konica Minolta.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, and thank you to all of those riders and teams out there. You're doing amazingly well with your fundraising and your participation, and you are truly helping to move the needle of Alzheimer's research. And speaking of those passionate riders, I've got one of them right here with me. This is JP Parmley from Dayton, Ohio. JP, thanks for joining us today. Now, you're the captain of the DX Rides for ALZ team, part of the Konica Minolta company team. Is that correct?
That's correct, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah. Now, you're a member of our executive leadership team, and we're going to hear about that here in a little bit. And you've also been able to really rally the support of Konica Minolta, your employer, to get behind what you and some of the other folks there at Konica are doing for the Ride to End ALZ. And we want to hear about that too. But to start off, could you tell us your story of your personal connection to Alzheimer's?
Yeah, sure, Brian. About 15 years ago, we lost my grandfather to the disease. And my mother, who's now 77, now has the early signs of Alzheimer's. And so it's something that our whole family is rallying behind, something that we're really passionate about.
Well, JP, thank you for sharing your family story with us. We know it never gets easier to share, but we appreciate that, and we appreciate your passion for what we are doing with the Ride to End ALZ. Now, we mentioned your employer, Konica Minolta, and you've done a fantastic job with rallying some support there inside the walls for what you and some others are doing for the Ride to End ALZ. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So, last summer for the Summer Classic is when I first got involved with the association, and I was so impressed with the resolve of the organization that I knew I had to do something more, which is one of the reasons I chose to join your executive leadership team back in October. And being able to expand the fundraising reach, we engaged with our executive leadership team, and it was an instant agreement to partner and to really help make our employees aware of the disease and to try and grow this. Brian, we had you out last month, at our company kickoff, where you're able to meet a lot of our employees at our corporate kickoff, and so we're really looking to grow this team, meet our $100,000 goal as a company, and our company has also agreed to match the first $15,000 of all the funds raised by our employees.
Well, you should be proud. You've done amazing work. Right now, all of you can see on your screen what the Konica Minolta team has accomplished so far with their fundraising and their participation. Just a great example of a corporate supporter for the Ride to End Alz. So JP, when you registered for that Summer Challenge ride back last year in August of 2021, I don't think you had any idea just of how much you were going to be getting involved with this at the time, but you've done a lot. One of those is you've taken a seat on our executive leadership team, helping us to shape the long-term strategy going forward for the Ride to End Alz. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing with that group?
I joined the ELT because of the resolve of the organization, and I wanted to be a part of that. And my goal is to really help drive the strategy of the Ride to End Alz, and to leverage not only all of my corporate contacts, but more importantly, all of my healthcare contacts that I have. And we're looking really to try and get more companies involved in driving the participation in the event.
That's awesome. You and the executive leadership team have done such a great job, and we're so excited about what that looks like and how you're going to be able to help us shape that strategy going forward. JP Parmley, thank you so much for being part of this family. We love that you found us back last year for the Summer Challenge, and we're looking forward to a long, long relationship going forward. So thanks for being here.
Brian, thank you for allowing me to come on today and tell my story. I appreciate it.
Now let's go and take a look at some of the amazing science and research that's being funded in part by your efforts today. Just some amazing stuff happening at any given moment all over the world. And to that point, we're here in the nation's capital today, Washington, D.C., to talk to one of the people on the front lines of that amazing work going on in the world of Alzheimer's research. This is Dr. Chris Weber, the Director of Global Science Initiatives for the Alzheimer's Association. Dr. Weber, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, good to be here, Brian. Thank you.
Now, you've become kind of a regular Ride to End Alz member. You're here in your kit. I love seeing you in this stuff. And that's one of the things I love about you the best, Chris. Not only your role in the association and all the great science and research you get to be involved in, but you are a rider. Can you talk about your experience with the Ride to End Alz a little bit?
Sure. I participated in a few of these Ride to End Alzheimer's events, and the energy, it's great to see the momentum of these rides and how they're growing. A lot of participation. It's just such a great way to bring people together, to people that are affected by Alzheimer's directly, or maybe are just passionate about the cause, and it brings together the cycling community to help this cause and further it. So these rides are really a lot of fun to participate in, and I've enjoyed every time that I ride with this group.
Well, that's awesome. We've loved having you with us. In fact, you just got off the bike. We went for a ride this morning. You got the messy hair and the sunglasses and everything, so it's just so much fun. You know, Dr. Weber, in your role with the association, you've got a front row seat. You're kind of a first-hand participant in some really cool and amazing stuff going on, some amazing new trends happening in the world of research, lots of things in the pipeline. wondering if you could take a minute and tell our riders and our viewers about some of those exciting new trends and maybe something that you're just particularly excited about.
Yeah, Brian, this is a really exciting time in Alzheimer's disease research. The association is the world's leading nonprofit funder of Alzheimer's disease research. We're currently funding over $300 million across 900 projects in 45 countries.
Well, that's just quite amazing. So much amazing stuff happening. And all you riders out there, what you're doing today as part of the Summer Challenge, you're helping to directly affect that. 100% of the money you raise today is going to the research that Dr. Weber is talking about. Now, Chris, I know one thing you've been particularly passionate about. I've heard you speak about it before. That's the U.S. Pointer Study, right? I wonder if you could take a minute and tell our riders and our viewers about what that is and how it might have a link to cycling.
Yes, the Alzheimer's Association is leading a study called U.S. Pointer, where we're looking at a couple of different lifestyle interventions on how it may affect cognitive and functional decline. So it's the first study of its kind that's looking at such a large group of Americans with these type of interventions. And it's important because the future of treating Alzheimer's is likely to be a mix of medications and lifestyle interventions or changes. Changes such as physical activity, healthy diet, cognitive and social stimulation, and just overall good heart healthy behavior. So it's great how cycling actually ticks all those boxes and is such a great activity for people to do.
Yeah, and I think all of you and all of us who like to ride our bikes, we kind of already knew that riding bikes was good for us physically, but now maybe we're going to see some evidence and some hard data saying it's good for us cognitively, good for the brain. Just some awesome stuff. Well, Dr. Weber, thanks so much for being here today. So much exciting stuff happening, and we just love that you're part of this family, so thank you for being here.
Great. Thanks, Brian. Good to be here. Great to be participating in these Ride to End ALZ events. Very exciting. And if you or any of the listeners want to learn more about the research that's going on, please visit our website at alz.org.
That's right. Lots of stuff on the website. We encourage you to check it out. Now let's go back over to Sarah to hear about the future of the Ride to End ALZ.
Thanks, Brian, and thanks, Dr. Weber. I just love hearing about the advancements happening in Alzheimer's research. At any given moment, we are changing the trajectory of the disease. Now, a couple shout outs before we officially get started. I'm going to give a shout out to those of you that participated in our in-person events, and especially those that were a part of the inaugural Nation's Capital event in the Washington, D.C. area. You raised over $350,000 in the first year. Blown away. And we're also breaking records in New England. You raised over $700,000. I mean, that is more than you've ever raised before. And our number one in-person in the event in the country is our 3-day event in South Carolina that just happened in July, raising over $850,000. I can't wait to see all of our events that raise $1 million. And another cool shout out to those of you involved in our Spoke series. So I love our Spoke series because you can ride for the Ride to End ALZ in any way you want to on any day of the year. It is truly a ride your way event. The Bike for ALZ group out of Western Kentucky, a group of college athletes biked across the country for the Ride to End ALZ this year. And the Biking to Remember group from Iowa raised money and rode across the country as well. And there's so many great stories like that. And hey, I've got a secret. We are probably going to be adding another in-person event in 2023. If you're interested, email me at ride@alz.org or follow our group on social media. All right, now I'm ready. I've got my helmet. My boys here are ready to ride with me. We're getting all of our gear set. It's time to go. And before we do, I'm going to send it over to Brian to officially send us off.
Well, thank you, Sarah. And hey, Ride to End ALZ Nation, guess what? It's time. It's the moment we've been waiting for. It's time to kick this event off and get the 2022 Ride to End ALZ Summer Challenge underway. Just a couple more things for you. First of all, the most important thing, we want all of you to be safe no matter how you're riding today. If you're going out on the roads, you're going to be mixing it up with the cars and traffic. Make sure you follow the rules of the road, stay alert, and stay safe. For you indoor cyclists, and we know there's a lot of you out there today, make sure that you've got your water bottles filled, all your gears are ready to go, your shoes are clipped in, and you are good. Whatever you're doing today, just be safe. Now, we got a couple of ways that you can interact with us today. For all you Zwifters out there, as soon as we're done here and we've sent you on your way, bring up your Zwift app, find the Ride to End All Zwift ride, and you can join in and ride with riders literally all over the world from the comfort of your own home. And again, you indoor cyclists, you can go join our Ride to End All spin class. Super instructor Jared Benton from Charlotte, North Carolina is going to lead you on a heart-pumping 45-minute ride to End Alls. So we've got stuff for everybody today. The one thing that we're going to ask of all of you, Sarah mentioned this before, I'm going to mention it again, take pictures. We want to see what you're doing. We want you to share with the world what you're doing. Take those before, during, and after ride pictures, post them to social media using the hashtag Ride2EndAlls, or you can just email them to us at ride@alz.org. You know what? I think that's enough chit chat from all of us. I know you all are ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing. We're going to do a quick countdown and we're going to hit the road. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's ride, everybody.